Hey everyone, how are you all doing today? It's Ann Carden here, and I'm excited to talk to you today about Next Level Coaching Consultant. I want to show you guys how to grow your business to really maximize what you're doing and really grow and scale. And you may not be, hold on, I'm going to adjust my mic here a little bit. You may not be at a place yet where you are ready to grow and scale, but if you are, this is for you. And even if you're not, it's going to give you some great insight as to what's to come as your company or your business grows. So, hey, Lisa, good to have you on here. So I am going to be sharing with you guys the 5 areas really to look at if you're going to grow and scale your company. And when I talk about growing and scaling, I'm basically talking about not hitting any ceilings, not having limits as to how much your business can grow or how much money you can make or even how many clients you can serve. Okay. So there are multiple ways to grow and scale a company. But for a lot of coaches and consultants, they don't dream bigger, because what happens is when they start getting in enough clients, and they're no longer in sort of that, I like to call it stage 1, where they are needing clients, and they start, now they've got a lot of clients. I talked to a coach the other night. He's got a waiting list of people that want to work with him. And so he's like, yeah, if you could give me more hours in the day. And so this is kind of what inspired me to get in here and do this training. So anyone can grow, not have any limits, not have any ceilings in their business. And so I want to show you as much as I can in a 30-minute training how you can do this, and maybe you'll get some aha moments as you start building your business. Okay, so the very first thing, hey Ken, good to have you on. Drop some comments and let me know what type of a coach you are if you're jumping on, and also where you're coming from. That's helpful. So today we're talking about taking your business to the next level. And really what this means, guys, is when you start getting to a certain place in your business, you become overwhelmed, you become overworked. A lot of times you become underpaid, because one of the things I see as I am working with companies to grow and scale, and this is all types of businesses, not just coaches and consultants, they start losing their profitability as they grow. They start giving up a lot of their income to grow their business. And sometimes this is necessary, but a lot of times it's not. They could be doing things so much more effectively. They could be doing things so much more profitable. And I am all about the bottom line and making you money in your business and keeping your money. That's important too, right? Not just making it. We know revenue is the top line number. Revenue is the number that most business owners are shooting for, but at the end of the day, it's how much of that you keep, and it's how much actual profit you're making. That's what's going to set your business up for success. Okay, so let's jump in. And the first thing I want to tell you about taking your business into the next level is you have to know what that looks like for you. And it's going to be different for everyone. Everyone has different goals. Everyone has different dreams, different visions. But if you do not know what this is, it is like trying to get to Chicago from Missouri without a GPS, and I've never been there before, or it's like driving somewhere that you've never been and you have no idea how to get there. Okay, so the very first thing is, what do you want? What's your goal? What's your dream? What's your vision for what you want to happen in your company? So that's the first thing. And I want to say, dream big. Don't play small, you guys. We are in one of the most lucrative industries in the world. Do you know, I was doing some research yesterday for an article I was writing for a magazine, and coaching is now gone over, coaching and consulting together have gone over the $2 billion a year mark in the industry. So that is significant, right? But so many coaches are still struggling along. They're still limping along, and they're not really building a company and a business that they could be. So that's what really made me want to get in here and talk about this today. Okay. So first, what is your dream? What's your vision? What's your goal? You have to know what that is. Okay. And when I talk about dream and vision, I want to talk about long-term, what's your long-term vision, your overall vision for your company, and then also what is your kind of your short-term vision. So those are going to be more your goals, right? But you need both. You need to know, where am I going with this company? And then the second thing is, okay, what are my short-term goals, that the milestones that are going to help me get there? For example, when I was building many of my businesses, I knew someday I wanted to sell those businesses. So that in itself made me do things a certain way in those businesses so that I would have an asset that I would be able to sell. And so you need to think about this too. Is your business something you want to sell someday? Is it something where you want to build a team of coaches or consultants under you, or you want to build a big team under you? Do you want to have an agency if you're a marketing company, or you're some sort of consulting agency? Do you want to have a lot of people under you that are helping you deliver services? Those are all things that you need to think about when you're building your business. And when I first started my coaching and consulting business, I was going into business owners' businesses, sitting with them face to face, working with them. And I quickly realized I didn't like that business model. And I kind of had to redesign my business and restructure my business so I could have a more mobile business and also be more global. And that's when I started really stepping into more the online marketing and picking a niche that I knew I could reach online and those types of things. So all of these things are things to consider. How do you want your business to be? Okay. And then what's the money goal? And guys, you have to think about this. You're a business, okay? You hear me say it all the time. Separate charity from business. If you're in business, you make money, and then you go support your charities. That's the best way to build a business, okay? So what's the money goal you want to make? So what I want to do today is I'm going to try to keep this as simple as possible, break down, and let's just say a case study of someone's business, okay, and how they maxed out, and then what do we need to do to get them over that hump and so they can keep growing. And so we're just going to kind of do kind of a made up case study here. All right. So the second thing is marketing. So there are basically 5 areas here that are important to know when you are growing and scaling your company. Okay, your marketing, sales, people. All right, you're going to have to at some point have a team, and then how you deliver. So this is basically how you're delivering your services. Now, it doesn't matter whether you are doing done-for-you services. Maybe you're a marketing company, you're doing done-for-you services. You are going to have to think about at some point, how can I step out of the fulfillment role? Because you are going to max out, right? You can either only so many hours in a day, and you don't want to kill yourself building your business. That's not necessary. True business is a business you can step away from. You can go take a vacation and things don't fall apart and you still have things going and things are still working. That's a real business, okay? If your company is completely dependent on you, that's a job. So 2 different things. So the first thing, these are the 5 areas that you're going to look at when you're talking about growing and scaling a company. The next thing we want to look at is you have to realize that you need to step into the role of the CEO at some point. Now, that doesn't mean you have to quit coaching. Okay, I don't want you to think that. You might at some point, you might want to quit coaching, and you might just want to build a great team and let them coach, and then you oversee everything as if you are the conductor of the orchestra, right? You're just the conductor that keeps everything running and flowing and moving along. And so you want to make sure that at some point you're still operating as a CEO. And if you've watched any of the videos in the past couple of weeks, I talked about as a coach, you should only be working with clients 10 to 12 hours a week. That's it. If you are working with clients more than that, your business is at some point going to stagnate. And at some point, you're just either going to burn out, or you're going to tap out, or you're going to max out. Okay, so that's what we want to try to avoid. If you burn out, guys, you're not going to be any help to anyone. All right, so we want to avoid that. I was just having a conversation with a business owner this morning at a meeting, and he was telling me, I'm done. Like, I'm so exhausted. I'm so tired. He was not a coach. And I just said, it's time to change some things. You don't have to be done, right? It's time to change some things. I remember going through those phases when I was in business too, until I learned a lot of the things that I'm teaching you guys. And so we don't want that to happen. We don't want you to go away because you're tired, because you're exhausted, you're overworked, and you can't see a way out of you can't see the forest through the trees, right? And you can't see a way out, and you start losing hope. And we don't want that. All right. So 5 areas we're going to look at, and then also realize that if you're really going to grow a company, at some point you have to step out of the employee role into the CEO role, and that means you're running the company. You're focused on building the company. And again, it doesn't mean you have to give up clients, but it does mean you are going to leverage what you're doing. So there are some guru coaches out there, and last I heard, Tony Robbins, I think, charges $1 million a year if you want to work with him. There's some other ones out there that charge $100,000 a day if you want to work with them. So they have become so important and so valuable in their company that if you want them, you're going to pay big money to work with them. And quite honestly, your premium services should be the same way. If someone wants access to you as your company starts to grow, those fees should go up. Okay. And the more access they have to you, the higher those fees should be. All right. And I'm not going to really get into all of that today, but a few things for you to think about. I'm not sure who we have on here, but guys, thank you for joining. Drop in the comments what kind of coach you are, where you're from. Thanks, Ken. Ken's an ADD career coach for men. And let's see, who else do we have on here? I'm not sure who else is on here. So drop some comments. Okay. So these are the 5 areas we want to look at. What's the vision? What's the goal? Now, I like to think about, do you want to hit $1 million a year? Do you want to hit $500,000 a year? You know, a lot of coaches, I love the $500,000 mark is a great goal for coaches. And I'll tell you why. Number one, it's still very manageable, and you don't have to kill yourself to get there. Not that you have to with $1 million business, but I'm going to tell you, you're not going to hit $1 million easily. It is a lot of work. Even 500,000 is a lot of work. But here's the thing. You can hit a $500,000 business with not even a lot of help if you structure things in the right way. And if you structure things in the right way, you can walk away with probably a $350,000 or $250,000 income. So for most people, that can be pretty life-changing, right? And so that's why I love, I know everybody's out there pitching 7 figures, and I talk about that too. Certainly the things I help coaches and consultants do can get them beyond 7 figures. They're all fundamentals and I have people that I've done that with. But here's the thing. It doesn't have to be that big. And I'm not telling you to dream small or anything like that, but I'm just saying it really comes down to, what do you want? How do you want to build your business? How much money do you want to make? What do you want that to look like? So just imagine if you're making $250,000 or $350,000 a year, and how much of that could you really bank? You could probably put a lot in the bank. You could probably invest a lot. So that's a number where you're not giving up a whole lot of profitability to really grow and scale it. And it's not going to take quite as big a team. So it's really a nice size number for coaches and consultants. Now, if you're a marketing agency and you're doing done for your services, that's not big enough. Okay. Then you're talking millions. You're probably talking 2, 3, 5, 10, $15 million. So that's a whole different thing. But what I'm going to teach you today can be for either. So I'm just a few things for you to think about there. Okay. So let's first the dollars. Now, marketing. Obviously, you've got to have marketing systems working at this point. So if you're going to grow and scale, you've got to have a working system that consistently feeds your business. So leads are no longer a problem. You're not out there necessarily trying to find a client. They're coming to you. You have a stream of steady clients or potential clients coming to you. I talked to a coach the other night, and he said he has a wait list for premium clients and he can't take anymore. But I actually am going to kind of maybe use that as a case study a little bit here too, from what he had said. But how I just lost my train of thought. Oh, I hate when that happens. And so you have to think about, your marketing has to have a steady, that's what I was talking about. You have to have a steady stream of clients coming in. So you have to have a marketing process that works, and it's predictable and it's dependable. Okay. So you can't really scale your business until you have that in place. So that's still kind of a stage 1. And then once you get that working and you know that you can get clients every single time and you can bring in clients anytime you want, now you're kind of ready for stage 2 to grow and scale. Okay. Now, so what about your sales system? All right. You've got to have a great sales system in place too, so you can easily onboard clients and bring clients into your business, actually convert them, right, from prospect or from lead to a paying client. So what's your sales process like? And I'll tell you where I'm going with these things in just a minute. And then, of course, your people as you start bringing in a team. So I have a team behind me that helps me in my business. I have some virtual assistants that I work with. I have an actual local assistant that I work with that comes in and works with me, and she does some things for me. And so, I have a team. I'm not in this all by myself. And so as you start to grow, and I have to tell you guys, even if you're just a startup and you need someone to support you, okay, you can't do everything. So even if it's a few hours a week, get someone to help you. I know some of you guys do that already. But you need some help. You can't do everything, okay? So think about starting your team building early. What's the first thing you need to take off your plate? What's the stuff that's kind of holding you back and keeping you stuck? And I like to say the $10 or $15 an hour jobs, what are those? And can you give those up to somebody, okay? Let's see, Angela's on here. I'm a professional psychic who teaches psychic development. Okay, Erica, glad to have you guys on. Thank you. And Ken's from Michigan. Yes. Okay, perfect. So people is the next thing to consider. And then the final piece, and you can put these really, I guess, really kind of in any order, but the final piece is deliver. How are you going to deliver your services? How do you deliver what you're selling? Basically, how you're making your money in your business. Okay. Now, here's what I want to tell you. As a business starts to grow and scale, they end up with a bottleneck in some of these areas. Okay. Now, obviously, probably not so much, not the dream and the vision, but marketing, sales, people, or the delivery, I'll say delivery of their products and services, there's going to be a bottleneck in one of these areas. Okay. And this is where you have to work through the bottleneck. So what's the problem? So if you're marketing, for example, you're trying to grow and scale your business and you feel like, okay, I've got a great business. I've got great services. I'm good at what I do. I want to take this thing to another level, but I don't have enough leads coming in. Then marketing is where you have to put your focus. Now, you don't quit doing all the things you're doing, right? But you've got to put your focus into a great marketing strategy, and you've got to get that working. Maybe you have enough leads coming in and you're not closing them. They're not actually closing into sales, okay? So now you've got to focus on a sales process. You need a sales process that can maximize those leads and convert them into paying clients. So you may have a bottleneck here. You may have a bottleneck if you have so many leads coming in and you don't even have enough time to sell. That could be another problem. And so if that's the case, what are you going to do about it? How can you now still get those leads, and how can you maximize your sales process? So a couple of things to think about is, if you're, so there's a few different ways. I mean, there's a lot of different strategies and things you can use to grow and scale a business. But let me just use an example here. Let's say you have so many prospects coming to you, okay, that are wanting calls with you, wanting you to get on the phone with them, wanting to hire you, all right, and you're doing all of the sales, all right, you're doing all of it. So here would be the first thing to look at. Number one, do you want to be doing that? Or is it time to hire a sales team? Is it time to bring in a team person, a salesperson to help you close those calls? Okay. So that would be one thing. So you could bring in a team. The other thing is you want to see where you can leverage. Where can you leverage your time here? So for example, you hear me talk all the time about a qualifying process. A qualifying process is really the first step to leveraging your time. So you are not spending time with people who are not the right fit or don't have the money or whatever those reasons are. So when I get on the phone with someone, they have already filled out a long form that tells me all about their business, that tells me about the problems, why they're booking the call, all of those things. And if it doesn't look to me like I either want to work with them, or it's not really in my wheelhouse, or it wouldn't maybe be a great fit, then I will not take that call. Okay. And the reason for that is I only have so much time. I don't want to get on calls with people who are not the right fit for me. So doing a qualifying process is the first step to leveraging in your business so you can grow and scale. Okay, same with marketing. Get something that's working and rinse and repeat, right? Rinse and repeat. Keep that going. And then you can ramp this up as it's working. So sales, I could bring in a team member. I definitely want to make sure I'm qualifying. And even if you have a team member, guys, and you're not qualifying, you're going to burn up money and time for your team members. And nothing is going to be more frustrating than to have them on the phone with a bunch of people who aren't the right fit and they're not closing sales. And then they're going to be upset. They're going to feel like a failure, right? You're going to feel like they're not doing a good job. And so you've got to have these things in place before you start hiring. All right. You've got to make sure that you've got systems dialed in first and you've got your process dialed in first. Now, I want to speak on the sales thing for just a minute, because one thing that I see a lot in the coaching space is coaches and consultants or entrepreneurs say, I don't like sales. I don't want to sell. I don't like sales. And here's what I will tell you guys. If you are going to be the conductor of your business and of your orchestra, right? And you are going to be the CEO, do you not think it's important that you have the foundation that you can close a sale? Because how are you going to bring in a team member and teach them if you can't do it? All right. And how are you going to convince them? I am a believer. And here's the other thing I will tell you. The very best skill you can ever develop in your life is sales. You will never go hungry. You will never be broke. You will never be I'm telling you, if you can learn to sell, you will never, ever be out of business. You will always know how you can go make money. But if you resist sales, and sales doesn't have to be icky or slimy or anything. It doesn't have to be. But if you resist that and you refuse to learn that in your business is not going to have the success it could. And even in your life, if you think about your life, we're selling every single day. Okay. I used to sell my kids with, having to get up for school and get on the bus on time. Right. And I have to sell my husband on different things that I want and I think we need, and you're selling all the time. You just it's how you look at it. That's it. We're always selling all the time to everyone and anyone. And so you can't look at sales like that, okay? But develop your sales skills. It doesn't mean you'll have to do it in your business forever. You don't, right? You can bring in a team. But again, if you don't know how to sell, if you can't even determine if they're doing a good job or not, or you wouldn't even know how to make tweaks or shifts to the sales process so they could close more sales, your business is not going to have the success it can. So if you do nothing else, develop, really, I should say, your sales and your marketing skills. And I'm not talking about knowing how to build funnels and all the tech stuff. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the fundamentals of marketing. How do you attract your clients? Do you understand messaging? Do you understand good copy? Do you understand, message, market, media? Do you understand all those things? If you don't, you need to learn them, because otherwise you're going to be taken advantage of in the marketing world. There are a lot of marketers out there that don't know how to market and don't, and no offense, but if I've worked with a lot of web developers that had no idea what a lead magnet was. A lot of web developers that just wanted to put up a pretty brochure site for their clients because it looked pretty, right? But it never brought them business. And at the end of the day, we're in business. That's the whole purpose of a website. That's the whole purpose of marketing, right? It's to bring you leads. So you need to develop these two skills and really understand the fundamentals. All right, let's talk about people. Start bringing in people, and you can start bringing in people immediately, no matter how small your business is. Where are those $10 to $15 an hour jobs that you do not need to be doing? All right. And this is one mistake a lot of startup coaches make, is they're like, well, I don't want to give up any of my money. I might as well just learn all this. But the thing is, those are not high leverage skills to learn in your business. The high leverage skills to learn in your business are your marketing, your sales, developing people, building your own business skills, learning how to get clients, learning how to deliver your services. Those are the high leverage skills, or high level skills in your business. And if you're sitting there trying to figure out, how to do a funnel, unless you are going to use that as a big component in your business and you're going to be actually doing that for people, then does it make sense for you to spend time doing that? All right. So you have to think about these things. And even if you brought somebody in to just build your funnel for you, right? Handed that over to them and let them do it, or build your website for you. You don't need to be building websites unless that's going to be part of what you deliver, part of what you do. And so think about these things. Where do you need to put your time? and your energy, by the way. The next thing is your delivery. How are you going to deliver your services? And so if you look at, you're going to max out with one-to-one clients at some point, right? Is this resonating with you guys? Who's on here with me? Let me engage here a little bit. I've been talking. All right, who do we have on here? I'm not sure. I see a lot of people here, but I'm not sure exactly who is on here. It's not really letting me see that. Facebook just kind of shows you everybody, so not sure. But drop some comments, guys, so I know who's on here with me. And also, if you have any questions, if anything I'm saying you know you're not sure of, or you want to know more, let me know as well. So okay, so when you start growing and scaling, you're likely to have a bottleneck in one of these areas, and so you have to figure them out. Okay, delivery is a big one for coaches and consultants. They get to a point where they can't deliver their services any longer if they're working with one-to-one clients, right? And remember, 10 to 12 hours a week. 10 to 12 hours a week. Like, get that, drill that into your head, because you cannot build a great business if you are working all your hours with fulfillment. And that doesn't matter whether you're a marketing agency, an entrepreneur, a coach, a consultant, it makes no difference. 10 to 12 hours a week of fulfillment is all you should be doing. The rest of your time should be working on your business, being the CEO, being the conductor of your orchestra. Okay? So let's talk about delivery. So you max out in one-to-one clients, and now what? So this is where you hear me talk a lot about a rinse and repeat process. If you are doing all custom services, you cannot scale that. You can't scale it. You've got to have something you can scale. It doesn't mean you can't work one-to-one with people, but number one, those should be your premium services, okay? Those are the things that people pay the big bucks for, to work with you one-to-one. Then how can you do the one-to-many approach? That would be the second level, the second tier, right? And it doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be cheap. I see a lot of people do group programs and they make them super cheap. I'm not talking about, it doesn't have to be cheap. I have been in some extremely high-end group programs that were not cheap at all, and yours doesn't have to be either. So once you kind of max out on your one-to-one clients, or that's your highest ticket, and then what is the one-to-many approach you can do? Okay, that would be level 2. And then of course your third tier, your third prong, I like to say the 3-prong approach, or the 3-tier approach. Your third piece would be your product or your service, your passive income, where people don't get a lot of your time, if any, and but they can buy that over and over again, right? So you can deliver that product over and over again. So it would be like buying a course and you don't get any of the person's time. I've done that more times than I want to count. You probably have too, right? And so those are kind of the 3 levels of delivery. All right. So I'm going to erase this here, and we're going to kind of look at a scenario here, and I'm going to kind of build a case study of what I'm talking about. All right. So let's say, for example, you want to make $50,000 a month. Okay. All right. And let's say your premium services are, we're just going to say $10,000. I'm going to make it super easy. Okay. Your premium services are $10,000 a month, and you can only work with 5 people because you're spending, let's say you're spending 10 hours a week with that person. All right. So 10 hours a week, that's a 50-hour week, and that's just delivering, right? That's just delivering your services. So do you see how you quickly are going to max out? And again, these are just numbers I pulled off the top of my head. Okay. So now you can only take on 5 clients. You're maxed out. What's your next step? So I want to walk you through, what are your choices here? What are some of the choices you have? Okay. So one choice would be find a way to shorten the time that you are spending with them. Okay. So how can you shorten up this time? Instead of 10 hours a week, okay, how can you bring this down to maybe 5 hours a week that you're working with them, or 2 hours a week that you're working with them? Now you might say, Ann, really, somebody's going to pay $10,000 to work with you 2 hours a week? Well, it's about the result they get. It's about what you deliver, right? It doesn't necessarily mean they have to have you, but it's about the result you're helping them get. So for example, if I'm working with a client one-on-one and I want to teach them how to optimize their LinkedIn profile, I do not need to spend an hour with them to do that. I can create a video. I can send them the video to watch. And then our calls are high leverage calls, right? It's now, let's go look at your LinkedIn profile that you set up. Let's take a look at what you need, what's missing, what the gaps are. And so that call becomes very high level with my expertise. I do not have to sit there and deliver the same thing over and over and over again to every single client. I'm going to look at their thing and I'm going to customize. We're going to work on customizing that for them. So this would be one way you could leverage your time and shorten the time. So if there is something in the delivery of this service to those one-to-one clients that is rinse and repeat, when I say rinse and repeat, I'm talking about from client to client to client, then you can create something you can give them versus having to spend that time with them personally. Is this making sense? Okay, so that's one way. How can you shorten the time? So if I can shorten the time from 10 hours to 5 hours, guess what? Now I can probably take on another 3 or 4 clients a month. Again, this is really working too many hours delivering, like I've already talked about, but I'm just showing you some ideas here. Okay, so now though I could bring on, let's say 3 or 4 more clients, and now my income, you know, can go up significantly. It can boost another $30,000 or $40,000. All right. And so now I've just added to my income, and all I've done is shorten the time that I'm working with these clients. All right. So same thing with if you're in fulfillment, you know, with clients and you're maybe doing done for you services. How can you shorten that time that you personally have to spend with them? All right. So you have to think about these things. So that's one way, shorten the time. The second thing is I could just raise my prices. So now I'm maxed out. So guess what? This now becomes a $20,000 offer. Okay. And everyone else has to go into my $10,000 program. So that would be another way. So the second way would be raise your fees. And I want to just say something here. If you raise your fees, somebody says, well, but then people, you know, everybody won't want me. No, you're right. But guess what? You only have so many hours. So if people want the highest premium service and they want the most of your time, they're going to have to pay more money. And I got to tell you, I mean, this is a great place to be when you are maxed out. You have a wait list. You all of a sudden, you know, you're in this position. Or here's the other thing, you get to pick and choose the people you really want to work with. That's the other thing. Now, there are a couple other things you could do here. Let's say I can't take on any more clients, but I really can't see a way to shorten the time that I'm working with them. And again, you can do different things for different businesses. So there's not a right or wrong here. It's figuring out what's going to work best for you. But let's say I want to keep delivering the services. Okay. I don't want to give that. I don't want to give them videos or whatever that is. Okay. So then what would be another option? Bringing in people to help you. Okay. So a couple things you could do. Let's say you've got a wait list. Let's say you've got 5 or 10 people on a wait list that want your services, and you're still, we'll say you're still here at $10,000 and you want to stay at that. Okay, your other option would be to start bringing in a team and training them on how to deliver your services. Okay, so this would be another thing. Now, if you were going to do that, I wouldn't bump the fees up necessarily to bring in the people. I would bump up the people that work with you. So if they want you, they pay the most. If they want a team member, it might be here, right? And so think about those things as well. And again, it's so hard to do this because every business is different and everyone wants different things. And so these things have to be figured out. And you have to really, again, structure things the way it's going to best align with you and what you want. But these are just some different ideas of how you can scale, okay? Excuse me, I dropped my eraser here. Okay, let's see, what have I got? We've got shorten the time, raise your fees, people, and then the other thing, let's see if I'm forgetting something here. The other thing would be a joint venture, okay? So let me erase some stuff here, I'm running out of room. So let's say I come up with a JV partnership. This would be number 4. So for example, I don't want to take on any more clients, but I know another great coach or another great company that does that, okay? And they're awesome at what they do, and they basically can do the same thing. Guess what? I can now feed them the leads of the people I don't want, and I can get a finder's fee. Or you can get maybe a fee off the top every single month. So you're taking the client to them, and then they're paying you, and it's a partnership, right? And so that's another way you can leverage. How can you can do finder's fees. You can do a percentage, of the client. I mean, that could be an ongoing monthly thing. So there's a lot of ways you can structure this. Tons of ways you can structure this. Okay, so these would kind of be your 4 options to keep delivering your premium service. All right. Now, once you figure out, okay, this is what we're going to do with the premium services, now how can you do the one-to-many? That would be your group, and then create products and all of those things. So I hope this helps. Is this making sense? Let me see if we have any comments coming in here. Hey, Lynn, good to have you on. Thank you for joining me today. All right. So this is how you grow your income. The other thing, guys, is I want you to look for ways as you start scaling, you do start doing more of this kind of thing, more partnerships, affiliate partnerships, things like that. So you see it all the time. ClickFunnels. If I want to be an affiliate of ClickFunnels and I want to send people to get ClickFunnels accounts, I get paid a fee to do that. And so you see, especially online marketing, you see people doing affiliate programs all over the place, right? That's building a passive income stream. So that's a great way. That's another great way to leverage what you're doing, leverage your time, and start building, some more income. Because remember, scaling your business and growing your business and expanding your business is all about leveraging your time while maximizing your opportunity. All right, let me say that again. Growing and scaling and expanding is all about leveraging your time and maximizing your opportunity. Basically working as little as possible to have freedom in your life and enjoy your business while making the most money you can and while your business keeps growing. That's the perfect business model, right? Let's see what else I'm forgetting here. Oh, the other thing I want you to think about, and I had a conversation actually with an IT company this morning, an IT professional, and when I looked at the structure of what he was doing in his business, I said, yeah, I would put your focus over here. So his thought process for what he was focused on in his business made sense to him, but from the outside looking in, me knowing how to get to revenue, I'm like, that's going to be a long road. Let's focus on the high dollar. Okay. And so here's the thing. I always say high ticket, high ticket, high ticket, because it's your fastest path, and it can be for any business at all. It's not just coaches and consultants. Okay. So let's say you're a web developer. Let's say you sell a website for $10,000, and then maybe you do some social media marketing for $300 a month. And then maybe you do a logo or some design and you make about $100 on that. Okay, does it make sense to put all your time and effort here? No, it does not, right? It's a slow process. But what if you focus on here? What if you just set up your focus to go build $10,000 websites that you could, and here's the thing, you could do that. So it's maybe rinse and repeat. Maybe you could target one specific market. So you build a $10,000 website. Maybe you're going to do it for chiropractors. I like to use them as an example. I don't know why. And so basically a chiropractor's website is going to be kind of the same from chiropractor to chiropractor. So now you kind of get this rinse and repeat website, right? And you could actually leverage and scale that really quick. And now you're getting $10,000 a website, and then you're going to need back-end services. This is the second piece, okay? You're going to be able to, you want to maintain that website. You're going to have to host it. So now there's some additional money on the back end that you could be. But here's the thing, if you're trying to market and sell all of these things, it is just going to be a slower road. And certainly if you're trying to sell the low ticket thing, it's going to take you a long time to get traction. But what if I went out and sold 3 or 4 or 5 websites to chiropractors a month? I could have, that could build up, right? And then I could sell them the back end service. And here's the other thing. What else do they need? What else do they need? Are they going to need social media? Are they going to need logos and branding and all of that? Of course. But what am I focused on? I'm focused on the high ticket. Okay. So this is super important as well. When you're trying to grow and scale a company, you've got to think high. And then you've got lower price services you can offer people. And those are going to come naturally. And that's what I told this consultant this morning. I said, look, you're going to get people, getting their laptops secured and, paying you for backup. And those people are going to kind of come naturally just from you getting out and meeting people and talking to people. But don't focus on that. It's just not a big enough number to spend all your time and your energy and your marketing on doing. Let's focus on the $10,000 a month client. Yes, $10,000 a month. Let's get more of those people, okay? And really, when I broke it down, that's who we wanted anyway. And so that's the fastest way to success. And for a lot of people in business, they focus on that low end stuff because in their mind, it's easier. They think it's an easier sell. It's easier to go out and sell a $15 something. It's easier to go out and sell a $100 product. It's easier but I got to tell you guys, the workload's the same. It's the same. It's actually easier to sell something high ticket and make good money than it is to focus on the low stuff. So the low stuff is going to come along, right? It will probably come along very naturally as you're building your business. You're going to have people that don't need a website that you've already talked to, but they do need social media. So you sell them social media, but you're not out there trying to market that and sell that. You're out there trying to market and sell the highest price thing. And so super important when you're trying to build your business and really get some traction in your business. You've got to keep an eye on the time here. All right. So also hiring, I want you to think about this. Like I said, start now. Don't wait until, I'm in a better place. No, even if it's an hour, 2 hours a week that you have someone helping you in your business, let them do some of the stuff you don't need to be doing. You are the most valuable person in your company. So start treating yourself that way, okay? And if you get in the habit of that, and it doesn't mean you just go out and hire a bunch of help, I'm not saying that, you've got to be profitable, but it will eliminate some of the stuff you're doing so you can focus on growing and running your business and your company. So people don't build $1 million businesses by themselves. They don't build $500,000. Even most of the time, they don't even build $250,000 business by themselves. They have some kind of help. And so especially online people, they are very guilty of thinking, I need to reach 100,000 before I hire someone. That's the wrong mindset. It's the wrong mindset. You cannot grow like that. Business, it requires an investment. And if you really want to grow, you've got to invest in whatever that is for your business. Lynn says, I white label for an agency. Oh, awesome. How do you handle an add-on sale? Does it go through me or the referring agency? Okay, Lynn, that is a great question. And what you need to do is have that conversation with them. Okay, so two things. If you are, hold on one second. You're the white label, so you are using their stuff, but the clients are yours. Is that right? Let me make sure I get clarification there. See if you can put a comment in there. I just want to make sure I answer this correctly. While you're doing that, I'm going to have a little bit of my drink here. I don't know, it's a little bit slow here coming through, Lynn, if you are typing something in. Okay, I am going to assume, there we go. No, okay. I got you. They're selling my service. Okay. Okay. So typically if if they are selling your service, and again, guys, this can be negotiated. There are no rules. Okay. You can make your own rules in your business. So if there is something that you want to upsell, you can negotiate that with them, that they can either upsell that and give you a fee, or they can allow you to upsell that by and that gets a little tricky, right? Because you can't always share a list of clients. But Lynn, here would be my suggestion to you. go back and have a conversation with them and see what you can work out. You can always work out deals, guys. You can always work out deals. And here's what I want to tell you. Even if you don't get maybe the percentage that you really would love to have, Lynn, because they are going to be selling it, it's still money you don't have now, right? It's still money you're not getting. And so, or they could just turn that person over to you and and you could give them a finder's fee. That would be another way. There's multiple ways to do this. And so there's so many things you could do, but it really would boil down to, and I don't know enough because I don't really even know what kind of an upsell you're talking about. If I knew that, I could help you with more relevant information. But I will tell you this, there is always a way to negotiate what you want. So if you want to build a passive income stream, either ask them to tell them you'll give them a finder's fee to pass that client on to you so you could sell them something else, or do a split and let them sell that for you. So does that help, Lynn? Is that helpful? Let's see here. That's what I did. I asked the agency how they thought it. Okay, that's what I did. I asked the agency how they thought it should work. It's a great relationship that has been really beneficial for both of us. Oh, okay, perfect. Awesome. So it sounds like you did work that out. Joint ventures, guys, are they're fantastic. By the way, I do give finder's fees. If you send me a client, someone that you think I could benefit or help, I do give you, they sign up for any of my programs, I do give you $500. So if you guys want to go make some affiliate money, send someone my way. And all you're going to do is send them to me for a conversation. And then if I sign them up, I will give you a $500 fee back. So that's another. And here's the thing, guys, there are all kinds of people out there that will offer finder's fees. Look, the hardest thing in a business is going and finding your clients, right? So if you know my services are right for somebody, or I know your services are right for somebody, I'm partnered with people for multiple things. And if I know my clients are going to need this, I want to have somebody in my back pocket that I can send them to, and I'm going to build it. I have another income stream coming in off of that. Now, I'm not out there marketing that and selling that. It's like organic, right? It's organic stuff that comes in, but you can do the same thing too. You can build up other income streams in your business. So think bigger. As you know, I always say think bigger, right? So multiple things you can do. The other thing is if you are in fulfillment, hey, Susan, good to have you on. If you're in fulfillment and you are doing all the work yourself, you're going to need to bring in a team member if you want to keep growing your business, all right? And then the last thing I want to talk about, and then I have to wrap this up because I have a client in a few minutes, but the last thing I want to talk about is make sure that your pricing and your business structure is set up for success. If your prices are too low, you guys, it doesn't matter how much you do. It doesn't matter how many clients you get. It doesn't matter what you are doing in your business. You are not going to have the funds to grow. And you're going to be exhausted, overworked, overwhelmed. And so that's the first piece, is make sure your business model is structured in the right way. Make sure what you are selling is priced right. A good example of this is there's a cleaning company in another state that I'm working with, and she wants to grow her business. Right now it's just her, and what she's charging, the first thing we had to do was restructure her prices. I said, look, what you're charging like for yourself, okay, for just you to go out and do the work. Well, that's never going to build your business ever, because you need that money. What you need to do is you've got a price so that if you bring a team member on, your fee, your profits and the revenue, is going to be able to handle both of you and still make money for the company. And so this is a mistake people make. So just because you might be the only one in your company right now doesn't mean you will always be the only one in your company. So if you're not priced right, if you're like, well, it's just me and I don't need that much money, that is not a growth mindset. That is a mindset that's going to keep you broke. Okay, and struggling. Lynn says, thanks, Ann. I haven't heard back from them, but you confirmed what I thought. There are no rules. Yes, as long as we're upfront with each other. Yes, and if it's something really significant, and again, you can, always get a contract. It's always worth the money to get a contract in place. if you're going to do some sort of a partnership that is going to be ongoing, and you just don't want there to be, any problems down the road. And it just makes it clear for everybody what everyone's role is and what's going to be expected. So so that, yes, all that legal stuff, that is part of building a company too, and growing and scaling a company. So guys, I have to hop off of here. Please drop me some comments if you have any questions at all. Please put them in the comments, and I will be happy to answer those. And also, if you're watching the replay, please put hashtag replay and let me know. And then I do go back and check the feed on the videos. If you make comments, I will go back and respond and reply. So if you have any questions at all about growing your business or scaling your business, then please drop those questions in there. If you would like some help growing and scaling and going from where you are to really where you want to go, and you want to do that faster and easier than trying to muddle through on your own, then please message me and let's have a conversation about what we can do in your company. I've not yet met a company that couldn't grow. But again, where's that breakdown, right? So if you didn't watch the whole video, go back and watch it. But wherever there's a breakdown or a bottleneck, that's going to stop you from growth. So you've got to fix that, and then you've got to move on and keep going. And then something else will come up, and you've got to fix that, and then keep going. And that's how you grow. Okay. So I love you guys. Thank you so much. Leave me your feedback. I appreciate it. I want to know I'm bringing you value. So schedule a call if you have some questions or you want to scale your company. All right. Love you guys. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.